Aloha, this is Dan. Welcome to part 1 of 3 in our series of 5 best core activation exercises for beginners. The reason you want to activate your core before engaging in any type of physical activity, so you don't get hurt, plain and simple. It's to make sure that your spine is being supported while in motion, like when you're running or jumping or even swimming, or when a weight or some type of physical load is being placed on your body, like when you're doing heavy squats, or when the linebacker is tackling a running back, or even when you fall from a bicycle. All of this has to happen automatically. You're not always gonna have a chance to tell yourself, I gotta engage my core, something bad is about to happen to me, all right? At the end of every video in this series, there's going to be a follow along routine so that you can see the proper form without having to watch the instructions over and over again. And so in this section, we're simply going to be laying down the foundation. Some of you will find the sequence to be sufficient. Go through with it for at least 3 times, even if you think it's too easy. You'll have a clear understanding of what neutral spine means, and you'll be less likely to get injured as these exercises become more and more challenging in upcoming weeks. With the first drill, we're going to activate transverse abdominis, TVA for short. TVA acts like a piston, at least in my mind. It just squeezes and stabilizes the spine together. It's located deeper underneath your abs. And unlike your abs that just perform spinal flexion, this is what the abs do. They flex your spine in this way. TVA actually supports it. And so that's the first thing we're gonna do. Here's how you find it. First, lie down on your back and place your fingers right below your belly button and cough. The muscles engaging when you cough, that's your transverse abdominis. Make sure that your lower back is touching the ground. Make sure that there's no arch. Get rid of that natural curvature by flattening your back into the ground. And now we're gonna perform a really tiny crunch. So, I want you to draw your navel in, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, reach up as high as you can. If you do this correctly, your fingers aren't gonna get too far beyond the knees. On the way down, inhale. Exhale, building tension on the way up. And then on the way down, maintaining that tension as you inhale. You do not want to use momentum and come up all the way. I'm sure you see people do these kind of crunches. This isn't it. As a matter of fact, if you can come up like that, that means your transverse abdominis is definitely not active. Because if I engage everything, watch, it's gonna pull me right back down because it's holding my spine strong and won't allow it to bend. So once again, I can come up, but it's gonna drop me right back down. So to engage the TVA, draw the navel and flatten the back, hands on your legs for this foundational series, and take a deep breath in, exhale, build tension, inhale, hold on to that tension. And we're gonna do that 15 reps before relaxing. And now for the second drill, we're going to activate the second most important muscle in the entire core complex. As a matter of fact, I wonder how many of you guys know what that muscle is. Take a minute, please comment below, let me know what you think that muscle is. It's your glutes. And so, for the second drill, we're going to activate our glutes by performing a simple bridge. Here's how it works. Once again, I'd like you to lie down on your back. This time, try to place your heels close to your fingertips. From there, once again, engage the TVA by flattening your back, drawing that navel in, coughing. Now, let's lift the hips off the ground using one vertebra at a time, from the lowest all the way to the highest that comes up. It's important to maintain a straight line from the knee to the shoulder. Draw your navel in to engage that transverse abdominis. If your body looks like this, if you're sagging, if your hips are sagging, your TVA is not engaged, so draw the navel in. And so we're gonna do 10 of these guys. Drawing the navel in, engaging the TVA, and lifting your hips up one vertebra at a time until you create that straight line from the knee to the shoulder. Hold that tension for a split second and come right back down. So you're gonna exhale on the way up, create that tension, inhale on the way down. Exhale, squeezing your glutes, drawing your navel in, and coming back down, holding on to that tension. At no point in here are you relaxed until the very end. The third drill is the hollow body for beginners. Hollow body is the #1 core activation drill in gymnastics. In a few weeks or months, whenever you get to the actual hollow body, when you can do the full version of the hollow body, all types of doors will be open up to you as far as exercise safety goes. But please don't rush it. Listen to your body, take your time with this one. For the beginner version, let's once again lie down on your back. And as with the previous 2 drills, it's really important to keep the lower back on the ground. As a matter of fact, for this one, it's the focal point of the whole exercise. The lower back has to maintain contact with the ground at all times. And so let's take a look at the easier variation of this exercise. I want you to reach as far forward as you can with your hands, activating your TVA. And then from there, straighten your legs and start lowering them towards the ground as far down as you can go while maintaining that connection with the lower back and the ground. If at any point you feel like you're losing that connection with the lower back, simply either lift your legs all the way up or start bending the knees. That lower back has to touch the ground for the duration of this exercise. Before we get to number 4, if you're finding this video useful, please hit that like button. It's going to really help with sharing this content with other viewers on YouTube. For the 4th drill, we're going to do a side plank to activate your side butt or your gluteus medius if you prefer. Glute med helps with stabilizing your hips and prevents them from moving side to side when it's not needed. Let's take a look. For this one, you want to position yourself on the side of your body. If you can, 1 foot on top of the other. Your shoulder has to be kind of far away from your ears. Try to avoid this kind of posture when getting up. This is gonna end up hurting your shoulder in the process. So make sure your lat is engaged and that the elbow is positioned right below the shoulder. Now, you have an option of either keeping your other hand on the ground as you come up, or as you get better at this, you can keep your hand on your hip as you come up all the way. Now, the important thing in this exercise is to keep a neutral spine. So let's engage the TVA, tuck your chin so your neck is also straight. A lot of times I see people do it this way where their neck is actually folded forward without them realizing it. So make sure to keep your spine nice and long, tuck your chin, and then lift your hips up as high as you can and bring it back down. Up and back down. Once again, for stability, at first you can keep your hand here on the ground. Just make sure you don't rely on pushing down with that hand. It's just there for support if you need it. Last but not least, for the 5th drill, we're going to do a plank, but we're gonna do it a little differently. Let's take a look. First of all, make sure that the spine is completely straight and that your neck is also in neutral alignment by tucking your chin a little bit. Let's draw the navel in to activate the transverse abdominis and pinch the shoulder blades slightly to maintain that straight line. Avoid holding your hands together like this. I know you all have seen this before. That way your arms are helping you stabilize. I want your core to do all the work, and we're gonna hold this position for a whole minute. When your form starts to go, you gotta stop. Because when you're lifting weights with poor posture, you're only activating that poor posture. And so I know what you're probably thinking right now. How do I know if my posture is off? Like, without somebody watching me, how do I know if I'm maintaining a perfectly straight plank? Let me show you a cool trick. We're gonna use a dowel for this, and you might need a little bit of help at first to put it up on your spine. But basically, the dowel is gonna take the place of your spine. Here, 3 points of connection have to be established at all times. Right, the back of my head, right between my shoulder blades, and my lower back. If one of those points starts to go, I can feel it, and I can adjust and instantly fix my form. The whole plank is touching my body. I can continue. When I feel like one part is missing or more, it's time to stop because you're no longer holding a proper plank. Now that you have a good grasp on what to expect, let's do the actual routine. All right, we're gonna start with the TVA crunch. Make sure to flatten your back by drawing your navel in. You're gonna exhale on the way up and inhale on the way down. Building tension on the way up and maintaining that tension on the way down. We're doing 15 of these. And now, find your fingertips with your heels. Let's go for 10 glute bridges. Once again, the back is flat on the ground. You're gonna exhale as you come up and lift your hips. Inhale on the way down. Looking to make a straight line at the top, from the knees to the shoulders. Now it's time to do the hollow body. Hold it for a whole minute. Keep that lower back on the ground. When it's too tough, when you start to arch a little bit, bend your knees slightly. Keep that lower back on the ground. Once you recover, straighten your legs back out again. Keep drawing your navel in, hollowing out your abs. That's the whole concept of this exercise. Flattening the back, hollowing the front. Five more seconds. Nicely done. Time to do side planks. 10 on each side. If you can't come up too high with your hand on your hip, feel free to keep your hand on the ground for now. Draw that navel in. Keep a straight line. Other side. Make sure your neck is not too tight. Use the lats. Time to do a plank. Let's see if you can hold it for 1 minute. But remember, form is way more important than duration. Keep drawing that navel in from the bottom. It's as if you're doing a hollow body from the bottom. Make sure that stick is hitting all 3 points. The back of your head, between the shoulder blades, and the lower back. Doing great. 20 seconds to go. Keep breathing. Keep working. You're down to 10 seconds now. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. How was it? Let me know in the comments below. Now that your core is fully engaged, what are you going to do? I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you learned anything today. Share this video with whoever you think can benefit from it, and subscribe so that you know when new videos are out. I'll see you all in part 2 of the series. Until next time, this is Dan Kayser reminding you to live Pono and train with Aloha.